Imagine spending 12 years becoming a doctor, 4 years of undergrad, 4 years of medical school, 4 years of residency, $300,000 in debt, missed birthdays, missed weddings, nights you slept in a hospital hallway because there was no point driving home. And then, on an ordinary Tuesday, a machine reads a pathology slide more accurately than you ever could. Not by a little, by 19%. That already happened at a Harvard teaching hospital in 2023. And the doctor? Nobody told her it was coming, but I'm going to tell you. There's a sentence that gets repeated so often it almost sounds like truth. AI won't take your job, it will just change it. You've heard it on LinkedIn, at conferences, from executives who, behind closed doors, have already approved the budget to replace half their department. It's a lullaby, and it's keeping millions of American professionals asleep at exactly the moment they should be running. McKinsey's 2024 Global Workforce Report doesn't use lullabies. It uses numbers, and the number is 12 million. That's how many American workers will be forced to switch occupations entirely by 2030. Not retrain within their field, not adapt, leave, walk away from the career they spent years building and start over. And here's what makes this different from every other economic disruption in history. The jobs disappearing first aren't on factory floors. They're in corner offices, behind mahogany desks. They belong to people with six-figure salaries, advanced degrees, and the quiet assumption that their education made them untouchable. It didn't. Over the next 14 minutes, I'm going to walk you through 11 specific careers, some paying north of $400,000 that are being hollowed out from the inside right now. Some will confirm what you suspected, some will surprise you, and number 11, the one I'm saving for last, will fundamentally change how you think about career security in America. Number 1. Paralegals and legal researchers. Average salary, $67,000. Top earners, $110,000. Maria had worked at a Manhattan law firm for 11 years. She was the person attorneys called at midnight when they needed a contract reviewed before a 7 a.m. closing. She was fast, meticulous, proud of what she did. Last March, the firm adopted an AI platform called Harvey, built on the same architecture as ChatGPT. It reviewed contracts in seconds that took Maria hours, not approximately, literally, seconds. JP Morgan's version, Coin, now processes commercial loan agreements that previously required 360,000 hours of human legal work per year. Maria wasn't fired. She was thanked for her years of service, escorted out with a gift card and a handshake. She told a friend it would have hurt less if they'd just been honest. Number 2. Radiologists. $350,000 a year, a decade of training to earn it. Dr. James Chen could spot a hairline fracture most residents would miss. 8 years of specialized training had turned his eyes into instruments. Then Google Health published a study in Nature Medicine. Their AI identified breast cancer in mammograms with 11.5% greater accuracy than top human radiologists. Fewer false positives, fewer missed tumors. And the machine doesn't lose focus at 3 a.m., doesn't miss a shadow because it skipped lunch. Dr. Chen still reads scans. His hospital still needs him. But last quarter, administration signed a contract with an AI diagnostic platform. Nobody has explained to Dr. Chen what that contract means. He's starting to wonder why nobody will look him in the eye at department meetings. Number 3. Financial analysts. $95,000 base. Senior level, $180,000 plus bonus. The Bloomberg terminal floor used to be sacred ground for fresh MBAs. You earned your seat through 80-hour weeks and earnings models built by hand. Bloomberg's AI tools now generate those same reports, risk models, market forecasts, earnings analyses in minutes. BlackRock, managing $10 trillion in assets, has been systematically shifting from human stock pickers to algorithmic systems since 2017. The junior analyst chair is still there, but the person sitting in it has started to notice that nobody asks for their models anymore. Number 4. Copywriters and content writers. $65,000 average. Agency leads. $120,000. A 2024 Fiverr marketplace analysis showed freelance writing gigs dropped 35% in a single year. Not because demand for content fell. It grew. Companies just stopped hiring humans to produce it. First drafts, blog posts, ad copy, product descriptions now cost roughly 1% of what a human writer charged 12 months ago. The writers who survive will become editors and creative directors. The ones who define themselves by output rather than judgment are already updating their resumes.
Number 5.
Accountants and tax preparers, $78,000 average. Intuit's AI engine processes 86 million tax returns annually through TurboTax. Deloitte has reduced its human audit teams by 20% since deploying AI-assisted review platforms. The IRS itself now uses machine learning fraud detection that outperforms human auditors 3-to-1. The profession isn't collapsing overnight, but the middle is dissolving, and the middle is where most accountants have built their entire lives. Number 6. Graphic designers, $58,000 average. Creative directors, $140,000. Midjourney, DALL-E, Adobe Firefly. 12 months ago, a brand concept took a designer 4 hours and cost a client $800. Today, a startup founder types 6 words into a prompt box and gets 12 options in 90 seconds. Canva reports 40% of its users now start projects with AI-generated imagery. The designer who competes on production speed is already outmatched. The ones who survive will compete on taste, the one thing a prompt box still can't generate. At least not yet. Alright, I want to stop here. Before we go any further, I need you to do something. Not for me, for yourself. Think about the job you have right now, the one that pays your rent, puts food on your table, the one you describe when someone asks what you do for a living. Now ask yourself one question, and I need you to be honest, not defensive, not optimistic, honest. Could a machine do 80% of what you do on a daily basis? Not the human parts, not the emotional judgment calls, not the conversations that require empathy, just the repeatable, pattern-based information processing parts of your day. I want you to drop your answer in the comments right now. Just your job title and a percentage. Teacher, 40%, marketing manager, 70%, nurse, 15%. And here's why I'm asking you to do this now rather than at the end. Because what you're about to see in the second half of this list might change your answer, and I want you to have your first honest estimate on record before the evidence shifts your thinking. Go ahead, pause if you need to, type it in, then come back, because the next 5 jobs on this list are the ones most people still believe are completely safe. They're not. The first 6 were the early casualties, roles already bleeding out in boardrooms and office parks across America. The next 5 are different. These are the careers people trust with their health, their education, their freedom, and their money, and they are not as safe as anyone wants to believe. Number 7. Software developers, $127,000 average. Seniors, $250,000 plus equity. The people who built AI are now being partially replaced by it. The irony writes itself. GitHub Copilot writes an estimated 46% of all new code on projects where it's activated. Google's AlphaCode outperformed 45% of human competitive programmers in standardized tests. A senior engineer at a Bay Area startup told me, off the record, that his team went from 14 developers to 5 after implementing AI coding tools. Same output, same product quality, 64% fewer humans. The architects of the revolution are discovering that revolutions don't stop to check whose side you're on. Number 8. Pharmacists, $132,000 a year. Picture your local Walgreens pharmacist, the person in the white coat who catches the dangerous drug interaction your doctor missed, the last safety net before a prescription bottle reaches your hand. AI drug interaction databases now perform that function with 99.99% accuracy. CVS and Walgreens have both piloted automated dispensing systems that fill prescriptions without a single human touch. The pharmacist used to be a gatekeeper. Increasingly, they're becoming a witness, watching a machine do what they trained 6 years to learn and wondering how long the white coat alone will justify the salary. Number 9. Translators and interpreters, $57,000 average. Conference interpreters, $120,000. Google Translate processes 143 billion words per day. Meta's seamless M4T translates across 100 languages in near real time, preserving emotional tone, adjusting for cultural idiom, matching vocal cadence. The United Nations still uses human interpreters, for now, but the gap between machine and human translation distribution narrows by roughly 15% per year. At that curve, functional parity arrives before 2030, and when it does, the $120,000 a year conference interpreter becomes a $15 a month software subscription. Number 10. University professors. $85,000 average. Tenured, $150,000. At Georgia Tech, an AI teaching assistant named Jill Watson taught an entire semester of a computer science course, answered questions, provided feedback, guided students through complex problems. Not a single student realized she wasn't human. An entire semester. Meanwhile, Khan Academy's AI tutor, Khanmigo, delivers personalized one-on-one instruction, adapting in real time to each student's specific weaknesses at a scale no human professor could ever match. The lecture model, one expert talking at 300 passive students, was already crumbling. AI didn't kill it. AI just made the replacement impossible to ignore. Which brings us to number 11, the one I've been holding back since the beginning of this video. Number 11, diagnostic physicians. Average salary, $240,000. Specialists, north of $400,000. The most educated profession in America, the most trusted, the most expensive to train, the most protected by licensing, regulation, and public reverence. In 2023, researchers at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, a Harvard teaching hospital, ran a study that should have been front-page news. They had an AI system and experienced human pathologists analyze the same set of disease slides. Working together, AI plus human, accuracy reached 96%. Expected, impressive, collaborative. Then they separated them. AI working alone, 92%. Human working alone, 73%. I need you to sit with that for a moment. The machine, by itself, was 19 percentage points more accurate than the doctor by themselves. Not theoretically, not in a simulation. In a Harvard hospital, on real pathology, in 2023. The hands that hold a patient's wrist, the voice that delivers a terrifying diagnosis with compassion, the human judgment in a moment of genuine uncertainty. AI cannot do those things. Perhaps it never will, but the diagnostic function, the pattern recognition, the image analysis, the data interpretation, that function is already being outperformed by a system that costs $40,000 a year to operate. A team of diagnostic specialists costs $2.4 million, and hospital CFOs did not get their jobs by ignoring math. All right, deep breath, because this is not a eulogy. This is a weather report, and the entire point of a weather report is to give you time to move. 3 principles, not theories, not motivational slogans. Survival architecture. First, stop identifying with your job title. Start identifying with your skill stack. Maria the paralegal didn't lose her skills when she lost her job. She lost her category. The moment your entire professional value fits inside a single word, radiologist, analyst, developer, you've made yourself legible to a replacement algorithm. The future doesn't belong to specialists. It belongs to hybrids. A person who combines medical knowledge with AI fluency, legal expertise with data science, creative taste with technical literacy. Become someone no single job title can describe and no single algorithm can replace. Second, learn to use the weapon before it's used on you. Every job on this list has an augmentation window right now, a period where AI still needs human oversight, human refinement, human judgment. That window is open today. It will not stay open indefinitely. The professionals who learn to use AI as a force multiplier, who become 10 times more productive because of these tools, will absorb the work of the professionals who refuse to touch them. The pharmacist who masters AI drug interaction platforms becomes more valuable, not less. The developer who integrates Copilot into their workflow doesn't get replaced. They replace the 3 developers who wouldn't adapt. This isn't philosophy, it's triage. Learn the tools that are trying to replace you and make them work for you instead. Third, migrate toward what machines fundamentally cannot do. Trust, physical presence, emotional depth, creative judgment, not creative production, creative taste. The ability to sit across from another human being and make them feel seen, heard, and understood. These are the last walls standing. If your income depends entirely on processing information, recognizing patterns, or generating content, you are running a foot race against a machine that doubles its speed every 18 months while yours stays the same. You will not win that race, so stop running it. Do what the machine can't. Go where the algorithm has no legs. Here's what I think about late at night. Not the technology, not the market data, not the algorithms, the people. There's a pharmacist in Ohio right now counting pills behind a counter, not knowing her company signed an automation contract last quarter. There's a financial analyst in Chicago building a model tonight that a machine already built better this morning, and nobody in management has decided who's going to tell him. There's a professor in Michigan preparing tomorrow's lecture, the same lecture she's given for 15 years, not realizing that an AI tutor is already teaching her subject more effectively than she ever could. And the thing that haunts me, the thing that made me build this video frame by frame, is the silence. Nobody is telling them. Their employers aren't telling them. Their industry associations aren't telling them. The universities that collected their tuition and trained them for a world that no longer exists, they are not telling them. So I'm telling you, not to terrify you, not to paralyze you, not to sell you anything, but because the most dangerous position in any revolution is the one where you don't know the revolution is happening. You know now. You can see it. The only question left is what you do tomorrow morning. This is what Wealth Vision is for. Not panic, not hype. Clarity. The kind that lets you see a wave before it breaks and position yourself on the right side of it. Next week, we're flipping this entire conversation on its head. I'm breaking down the 3 brand new career categories that AI is actively creating, roles that didn't exist 18 months ago and are already paying 6 figures. Because this story was never just about doors closing. It's about knowing which new doors are opening and walking through them before the crowd even sees them. Subscribe, hit the bell. I'll see you in the next one.